Okay, based on what I'd previously filmed and actually shared a little bit online in some of the owners' forums, there's been some mass confusion because apparently the Phatbox DMS system was only offered in the US, it wasn't worldwide. So I wanted to introduce you, who may be worldwide viewers, to this weird thing we call the Phatbox digital media player. Now this, to be clear, is a modified one. In its original form, it had these giant ears on both sides that basically made big loops and filled out the space on this thing. They weren't really heat sinks. This whole thing is an unnecessary heat sink. It's just this aluminum case, but this is in place of a CD changer where you would insert your hard drive cartridge, and this plugs into where the CD changer would plug into, and it's intended to mount where the CD changer would mount. It actually came with some mounting brackets. The only problem is, you may have already noticed what I'm going to allude to here, is you can't close this door with this in place. It won't fit. So there were a lot of interesting hacks and workarounds to get this to work in factory form. Some people simply closed this and mounted the Phatbox up against the back of the seat. Some dealerships would cut a hole in the side here so it could protrude through and still sit in the original place. And then others, like me, well, we got a little bit crazy, and we cut the ears off so that it could actually fit in here sideways on top of the amp. And when you do that, it closes, it fits. Now what I've noticed is by doing that, there are many drainage issues in this particular corner of the car. Things don't absolutely perfectly seal with the taillight and with the sunroof drain that runs through there. And while in a perfect world there shouldn't be any water getting into here, what I found several times is water somehow came from either back behind the taillight there and splashed up in, driven by the wind or whatever, and got into the Phatbox and ruined a few of these units. And so what I've done is I've taken some sealant, sealed it on both sides to make sure that water won't get in, but still there's this big spot where the cartridge goes, and that's an issue. So I've taken this very low-tech approach, and I just simply put a baggie around the thing and shove it inside here. Now you'll notice I've got some leftovers of the adhesive-backed bag that has kind of melted into here from the heat of the amplifier, because that is the stereo amplifier. But basically I just wrap it in a bag and put a couple of sticks of Velcro on here, a little bit of backing, cloth backing here, and it sits in nicely. It's covered by some protection here so that if any water gets on, it should not get in. And mine is due to be replaced. You can see some holes and some wear and tear, so I will be replacing this all very, very shortly. But in the meantime, I just wanted to show you, yeah, this is the thing, and it plugs in place of the CD changer. Well, why wouldn't I just do the iPod Connect thing? Excuse how dirty my car is right now. I happen to have one of the original factory navigations, and this thing is funky, but I like it a lot. It is early 2000s navigation technology, and it does allow me to use the radio, use the navigation. I can control the Phatbox as if it were a CD changer, and that's a lot of fun for me. So it does have an auxiliary input, which right now, if I can pull this out, I've got the old school headphone jack, which I don't have any more phones that use a headphone jack anymore. Thank you, Apple, for getting rid of all that. But I am about to do a conversion to be able to take this headphone jack and plug it into a Bluetooth unit, which will mount back behind here. And the Bluetooth unit will allow me to use my iPhone as the auxiliary input, and I can still keep my Phatbox and still use this amazing. Check out the graphics. I mean, this is just superb, right? This is the best. And you can see that through this little section, I'm running a couple other things. I've got power for my phone, which mounts up here on the dash with the Wix gear. And I've got the remote button for my Valentine one, and then the exhaust switch is under here. So I've got my little secret panel with stuff. Anyway, that is why I'm spending a little bit of time on the Phatbox. I'm about to be wiring in the Bluetooth so I can use both the Phatbox and my phone. There you go.
But wait, there's more.
There you could go. You see I've got it wrapped up in its baggie now. It's mounted up on top of the amplifier, tucked away, and it sits pretty nicely up inside there. So there you go. You might notice a little bit of light spill there. It's because I've got LEDs mounted up underneath both sides. So it provides better light at night instead of this dinky little stock thing, and ignore the rest of the mess.
And on that terrible disappointment, it's time to say goodbye. We'll be back.